Hi class, my name is Alessandra, but you can call me Allie, and I live in the Bronx, New York. Um, First and foremost, I identify my family as my community because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for them. They have pushed me and supported me so much. And I feel like academically and professionally, I feel like I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. Secondly, my coworkers, my workplace, I have learned so many skills. Every day I'm learning new skills in my workplace, and they have helped me grow professionally so much. And I feel like I'm always learning new ways to help my clients, and I love that. And I'm forever grateful to be, working in a workplace where I'm able to constantly learn and obtain new skills and, just ways that I can better my clients as a whole. Why am I interested in social work? Well, first, my mom was an NYPD police officer, and she had so many stories. And I was little when she was telling me these stories, and I feel like I couldn't really comprehend these stories. As I grew older, though, I realized just how sad these stories were, and the amount of people that just need help. They need support. They need a support system, people that can advocate for them, help push them to better their life, their life as a whole, connect them to services and resources that could impact them in so many beautiful ways. So eventually that pushed me and led me to go into John Jay College of Criminal Justice in the city. That's where I got my bachelor's degree. I got it in criminal justice. As I was learning in my classes, I learned just how often people are negatively impacted by the justice system, and how oftentimes people, when they're released from incarceration, they're released back into society with no help. They're almost lost. They have no connection to services or resources to help them. And so what ends up happening is recidivism only goes up, and people end up getting rearrested and back into the system, and it becomes an endless cycle because these individuals are being incarcerated even for the smallest of crimes, and they're not being provided with what they need. They're not being connected to services and resources that can get them out of that cycle of the justice system and connect them, to something that could better their life as a whole. So eventually I ended up obtaining a job as a case manager at New York City Criminal Justice Agency. This is where I currently work. And I work with justice impacted individuals with active cases. I specifically work with cases in Queens, New York, and I connect these individuals while their cases are active through the courts, help them navigate the court system and the justice system as a whole, all while connecting them to lots of services and resources that could better their life, their family's life, whether that's mental health services, substance use, shelter, homes. And it has motivated me even more to just work in the social work field. That's what really pushed me to apply to grad school, and that's why I'm here today, because I realized just how many individuals need help. I could definitely see myself working in the justice system, like a social worker for the criminal justice system, but I feel like I would be really interested in learning more about hospice social workers. And I say that because my mom was in hospice, and I was a teenager when she passed, and I kind of understood hospice, but not really. Now that I'm older, I feel like I would be such a great asset, as a hospice social worker, because I have firsthand experience of what hospice is like and what it was like navigating that when my mom was on a hospice before she eventually passed. And I feel like because I have that experience, I can build rapport with the client really quickly, because I know what it's like to lose someone, and lose someone that was on hospice. Macro social work that I could see myself really being interested in is program development. I feel like it's so good to be able to create programs and services that could benefit people, whether that's like an after school program for at-risk youth, or a program for individuals that are dealing with domestic violence. I feel like I would love to learn more about that. And just anything more specific that I'm excited about learning in the class is just different types of macro social work roles. I know a little bit of macro social work, but I feel like it's not something that's, I've learned really in depth. And so I'd love to learn more about the different roles and, what they entail, and, the things that you can do as a macro social worker. So I wish you all a great semester.